Have you ever felt like you can't make your own decisions? Just when college students think that they'll get freedom, it is ripped away from them once they are forced to live in a certain place. All college students and professors can benefit from the increase in college students' well-being. I have personally been affected by these rules at Marian University, and in order to move off campus before I was 21, I had to go through a lot of loopholes and paperwork to be eligible to live off campus. Students should not have an age requirement to be able to move off campus, and many campuses require certain ages to live on campus across the states, and the rules must be changed. Students are forced to pay room and board when required to live on campus, and students are starting to acquire debt because they are unable to afford room and board. The average federal student aid loan debt is $37,718 according to Melanie Hansen of the Education Data Initiative. She also stated, on average, at private institutions, room and board costs $13,000 $28 a year, and $11,269 for public schools. And I calculated this to amount to $52,000 a year and $45,000 for 4 years. That was mind-boggling to me. The statistic I just mentioned about total cost of room and board for 4 years can account for 100% of the student loan debt. The cost to live on campus can highly exceed the cost to live off campus. With living on campus, students have several options and pricing. However, when on campus, there's one fixed cost with no wiggle room because universities set that cost every year, and there's no way you can get around changing it unless you apply for like triple room rates, etc. I personally can relate to this with my own facts. To live on campus for my first 2 years here, it cost me $11,000 a year, and I have been living off campus for the past 2 years, and I only pay $5,000 a year. And with the cost of food, I maybe spend around $2,000 on food, which is only $7,000 a year, which is significantly less than living on campus. Students should be given the option to choose where they want to spend their money. If they choose to live on campus, that is their choice to spend their money. However, they should also have the choice to live off campus. Colleges benefit from requiring students to live on campus, but colleges, in the end, they just want students' money, and they take advantage of requiring students to live on campus by price gouging and making the prices extremely high because they know that the students have no other options. According to Best Colleges vlog, they stated that research has proven that students on campus generate a significant amount of money to the colleges and universities. Colleges are looking for money and higher success rates to make them look good rather than caring about the well-being of their students. Colleges want their students to look good academically, but although college students think they're doing the right thing to get success by resisting students from moving on campus, they're resisting students' happiness. And I can personally relate to this. I have been extremely happy since living off campus instead of having the sad dorm life. According to Best Colleges vlog, colleges want higher academic success rates, which I can understand this point of view, but from colleges wanting to have higher grades, but they need to have a different approach. I would say that dignity of the individual is important in this case because colleges need to focus on their students' well-being and happiness rather than worrying about test scores. They need to start thinking about the individual rather than just the number for the money. Colleges can change the rules and requirements for living off campus. So one long-term solution that they can put in place is they can just change the rules to allow students to move off campus at any age. Changing the rules will allow students who want to move on campus to do so, and this allows students who have paid housing through scholarships to still live on campus and not worry about availability. According to Marian University Student Life, 44% of undergrads live on campus, and from personal experience, due to students who are forced to live on campus, athletes who have scholarships for room and board are unable to get housing, and this due to the students taking up rooms who are required to live there. And I also know that students try to move off campus for financial or personal reasons, and they are unable to due to this rule. I've seen several athletes affected, and I've heard opinions from other students on campus about how many people do want to move off campus, but they just don't have the opportunity to, which is really unfortunate because we are college students and this is our choice now, as we are ages 18 to 24, if not older. And some short-term solutions, universities have off-campus requests from students that can fill it out to get approved, and this can be due to like living situations such as commuting, personal reasons, or financial burden, because I know for me, especially when I had to move off campus, it was a huge financial burden for me, so that helped in my case. And according to Marian University, students who currently live on campus and want to live off the campus must complete a housing request form, which is what I did. And one short-term solution is just accepting all students that apply to move off early. And this will allow students to be approved and until the campus rule is changed. Some audiences may not be inclined to speak up because they have no power. College students are the ones who want to change, but they have as much power as a child sometimes. Us saying something doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make a change. They'll just say they understand and try to change it, but in the end, nothing will be changed. And another reason the audience might have reservations is because the students' parents will not agree. Parents want their kids to succeed and will restrict them from living off campus. And parents can be like policemen sometimes in enforcing rules on their children. And I understand this point of view, but parents also need to start letting go of their children and allowing them to make their own decisions to know, for them to learn if they are making the right decisions. And the age requirement to live on campus from universities must be eliminated, and students should not be put in debt due to living on campus and the high costs. Also, colleges need to take students' well-being into consideration rather than wanting money and higher academic grades, which I get that's what they need, but in the end, they also need high student satisfaction to get people to keep coming. And lastly, they must change the rules and also accept more people to move off campus. We are all college students and all have the opportunity to be if we want to, and we should have the option to make our own decisions and decide if we want to move off campus or stay on campus. I get there are pros and cons to both, but we should be able to figure those out on our own for ourselves. And overall, in the past 2 years, I've saved over $8,000 by not living on campus at Marian, which has changed my life and allowed me to afford the necessities that I need in my life and allow me to be more comfortable with my financial situation. Thank you for listening.